group of other talented people are just very excited about anything related to any historical stories. I mean, especially like this one. I mean, if you grew up in Mexico, you grew up listening and hearing about the story, reading about it in school, but we never had a real representation or a real recent version of this story, which, like, this is my one of the second or third time watching it. It just blows my mind, right? Because it's so amazing, and it just reminds me of everything that we learned back in school. And the team was very adamant about working with historians to make sure that this was very captured in a very accurate historical way.
Beautiful, man. I you know, it's funny. It's like when I was watching it, I'm thinking, I want to learn more. Like, so I'm going to go home and do some research, because this was an incredible story. But people don't think about that. We know the history, we know about the war and this, but we really, you know, these are the stories I think that people need to know, especially especially the Mexican American community, because, you know, most of a lot of the U.S. was Mexico.
Yeah, and but it's really interesting that, like you said, you know, it's these type of stories we want these stories to be the hook for people who want to learn more about it, because this is just one story, but Mexico has so many stories. It's such a great crime country full of so many wonderful, amazing stories that need to be told. But unfortunately, there's not that much space for a lot of them, but we are trying our best to just promote our culture and our country as much as possible.
Well, we just do a lot of casting. How did that work?
Our director, Ricardo, he's just really, really lucky to have such an amazing relationship with such talented actors, especially actors that believe in the project and the story and what this can bring to our country and our culture, and to spread out the word about the story.
Yeah, awesome, man. I got some questions I've written for you. Yeah, where did you shoot exactly? It was Mexico, I'm sure.
This was shot in Mexico City in El Castillo de Chapultepec, but also Puebla. If you guys have ever had the chance or the opportunity to visit Mexico, you have to visit the Castle of Chapultepec. It's just one of the most beautiful places and iconic places in Mexico.
Nice, nice. And how long did the film take?
It took about a year and a half, just from production, pre-production, post-production, and then just making sure that the actors had enough time to work with us.
Is there anything else that I left out that you would like to let everybody know?
Just basically thank everyone for being here, for your support, for supporting Mexican cinema. These stories are important. These are stories worth telling, and we just hope you continue to support this, and we hope to come back next year with something bigger and better.
There you go. Any questions from the audience?
What's next year?
We are working. I'm also a writer, so I'm trying to get. This is like the struggle that sometimes we have. You know, we have such incredible stories that we think they're well worth telling. So we're working on producing another historical story, maybe a series. It's a little bit longer, about one of the most important treasures in Mexico, which is El Penacho de Moctezuma. It's one of the most iconic pieces of our culture that needs to come back to our country.
And give them another round of applause. It was an amazing film. Thank you for sharing it with us. I think we all learned a lot. Like, I literally am going to do a lot of research now, because this is an incredible story.
I think that was kind of the point of another point of the movie, to try to motivate you to want to learn more about our history and our culture, which is amazing. So thank you again very much, and we hope to see you next year.
Thank you.